Greetings everyone, welcome to video number 43 in the project management series presented by Process Geekoid. Today's agenda will be going over reviewing the PMBOK process table as well as the 40th process, which is the Plan Procurement Management process. This process occurs at the intersection of the procurement knowledge area and the planning process group. As always, please subscribe, like, and comment. So let's move forward. Similar to the other knowledge areas, we need to plan for how to deal with external vendors and suppliers, as not all services and resources are not going to be available in-house. An example of procurement is to use a third-party licensed software such as Amazon Web Services in the cloud for server or network hosting, or Tableau software for reporting purposes. In a nutshell, we need to plan how you're going to procure services or software or other tangible or intangible pieces to carry out the project. We need to do make or buy analysis and market research. And the proposed outputs from this process are going to be the procurement management plan, updates, and make or buy decisions. This is the only planning process with change requests as an output because changes can occur in the procurement process to actually make or buy the decision. It is a process of documenting project procurement decisions, specifying the approach, and identifying the potential sellers. Next, the inputs, tools, techniques, and outputs for Plan Procurement Management process are shown here. For inputs, we have Project Management Plan, which includes the scope baseline, specifically the scope statement, WBS, and WBS dictionary. Then you have the requirements documentation, which includes project requirements and legal contractual implications. Next input is the risk register, which is an output coming from identify risks as part of the risk management planning process. Next, we have activity resource requirements, which is an output coming from estimate activity resource requirements in the schedule management planning. Next input is project schedule, which is an output from develop schedule. And next input is activity cost estimates, which is an output from estimate costs in cost planning. And also we need the stakeholder register, which is coming from identify stakeholders as part of stakeholder management planning. All of these inputs are necessary because we need to make sure we have all the right requirements, take in consideration all the risks, also the time constraints and cost constraints when we're talking about procurement planning. Also, we also need to consider the EEFs and OPAs, so marketplace conditions, suppliers, typical terms and conditions, and geographical implications for enterprise environmental factors. Organizational process assets, or OPAs, are internal management systems, procurement policies and procedures, and a supplier system used in-house. For tools and techniques, we have specifically make or buy analysis. This is basically where we are trying to decide before procuring from the outside whether a product, service, or result is better to make in-house or get from the outside. And we need to do a cost-benefit analysis and see which is better for us. So, for example, if the software being procured is going to be used for more than the break-even period, it is wise to make in-house. But if the external software is going to be used less than the break-even period, then it is best to buy from the market and is more cost efficient. Next tool is going to be expert judgment. This is where we will involve the corporate buyer or purchasing department, which can assist in purchasing material and provide recommendations on which vendors to use, as this impacts the cost baseline and overall budget. We would also need to do market research, where we need to research which vendors provide the best deal for meeting the business need. In the case of software, it is wise to test a trial version or do a pay-as-you-go model to see if the procured software is providing the desired outcome for the project. And as always, we have meetings where we need to meet with corporate purchasers and other stakeholders to weigh options. The output of this process is going to be the Procurement Management Plan, which is a subsidiary plan of the Project Management Plan, which details out the types of contracts used and risk management issues. Then you have an output of Procurement Statement of Work, which is analogous to the Statement of Work for the project, which we did in scope planning. So the Procurement State of Work, where we have a Statement of Work for each procurement, each contract, is developed from the scope baseline and define the procurement in detail for the sellers to determine if they can provide the services or not. Then you have procurement documents. This could be in the form of a RFP, which is a request for proposal, RFI, request for information. And then you also have source selection criteria. This is criteria used to select a seller, such as past performance, performance reviews, risks, and basically, do they understand the need of the business and the overall life cycle cost, technical capability, risk management approach, technical approach, warranty, financial capacity, production capacity, the business size, and industry recommendations, any patents that they might own, and proprietary rights. These are all going to be criteria we need to consider when we are going to look for a vendor. Then we have make or buy decisions. This is where we have already used the make or buy analysis, and in the output we have make or buy decisions. Here we would have said whether we're going to make in-house or procure or buy from the outside using an external vendor. Also for outputs, we have change requests. Keep in mind that the planning process is going to be a iterative one. We will plan, perform, and control procurements. And until we come up with a decision, we'll keep going in cycles and raise change requests to get the type of service that we are looking for. Then you have project document updates. This could be updates to the requirements, documentation, requirements, traceability matrix, and risk register. This is an example of a make or buy analysis. This example shows a comparison between make in-house and buy from market, and looking at the two types of costs here, deployment versus monthly operations. And taking the difference between these two shows that we've got $7,800 of a difference for deployment and $300 for difference for monthly operations. So calculating the break-even point gives us 26 months. So that tells us if the software will be used for less than 26 months, then you would buy from the market. If the software is going to be used for greater than 26 months, you would make in-house. So taking into consideration this information, you would make that decision and move forward. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, and comment.